Hey, what's going on, everybody? Again, there we go. Hey, welcome in, everybody. How's it going? I'm Ian Douglas. I'm the author of the website down here, techinterview.guide. Let me take the agenda off of there because that's not really part of it for today. But welcome in. Hope everybody's doing good. Happy Sunday. Happy time zone wherever you are. It might be Monday for you, or depending on where you are. But welcome in. New camera, new audio. Please do let me know if anything seems out of the ordinary in a bad way. Let me know. Let me know, like, if the audio starts sounding really weird. I know sometimes my voice can get a little weird, so be sure to let me know if my voice starts
sound a little funny.
Or just kidding. Cajun Dragon, good to see you. Hello. Cool. So I thought I would check out questions from the Discord community, unless folks have anything else coming in. I didn't see any resumes coming in to review ahead of time. But if you do have a resume that you'd like reviewed, you can do !resume, and you'll see commands for that. And then I've also got like sample resumes and things like that you can take a look at as well if you need to get in on any of that. Otherwise, I'm just going to kind of go through some of our Discord questions. Let me check, see if anything queued up while we were away. Actually, someone did ask a question. What printer are you primarily using for printing helmets? Mine's currently too small. So the cosplay helmets that I print, I'm currently doing on a Voron derivative 3D printer called a Trudon. It's the same size as a Voron. It's a little bit cheaper, and it kind of comes mostly pre-assembled. You basically just have to put the uprights and put the top layer on of the case, and then if you want to enclose it, you can put the acrylic on, and then it's pretty much ready to print out of the box. It's all tuned, mostly, and ready to go. So just took an updated photo of my dragon thing and making with all my dragons. Sweet. Feel free to post that in the Discord. If you want to go check out our Discord community, you can certainly do that and post a picture for us over there. You do Discord. There we go. So yeah, go join us over there. I'd love to see pictures of it. I think we have a 3D channel or a 3D printing channel in there. Let me go over there myself and make sure. As soon as I can find my Discord window. There it is. We have a where did it go? Just having on my camera. Fix that camera here in a sec. We do have a 3D printing channel. Feel free to post pictures in there while I go figure out what the heck just happened to my camera. Let's go over to there. Go to here. Go to properties. Go to configure. What the heck? This was all fine a moment ago, and then suddenly it just decided it was going to stop working for us. That's all fine. Where do you post the pictures? So in our Discord community, there's a channel called 3D Printing. You can just pop pictures in there if you want. So what camera? Bring us up. I want that one to be default. Yeah. Well, if I turn the gain up a little bit. There we go. Weird. What the heck? Like I said, I got a new webcam, new audio setup. Still using the same microphone, but it's going through kind of a slider mixer thing now, which will allow me to also use the wireless microphone. It's got a wireless receiver on it for the wireless mic that I use when I'm doing the crafting stuff. So, like I said, if anything goes like way out of ordinary, do let me know. Let's see. Aside from that, yeah, let's hop into the Discord community. We'll grab some questions out of there. If you do have questions kind of as we go throughout the day, feel free to ask. We're also doing the daily giveaway as well. So we got about 8 viewers. If we can get a dozen people in here, we'll give away a 3D printed dragon. Other than that, we'll give away a coupon code. You can do !catalog. You can see all the stuff that I have as far as like merchandise and stuff like that. The coupon code will be a $15 coupon code. So you can get like a couple of small things, including shipping. Hey, hello, John. Good to see you. Or you can stack the coupons. That's the goal, is that you'll be able to stack these coupons down the road. So if you want something bigger, you can just hang on to the coupon codes if you want. But yeah, other than that, welcome on in, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well. Chatbot seems to be stable, knock on wood. Don't want to jinx anything, but I think we're okay there for that. So yeah, I'm just going to go through some Discord questions here. Let's see. So if you ever want to ask something anonymously, you can send a whisper over to the chatbot, the ID 736 bot up here. So you can just whisper to the bot and it'll show up. But there is something that I wanted to show. If we go over to, which window are you? Where is my code window? There it is. Oh, of course you can't see it the way I have it here. So let me pull this out here. So I set up a thing where if you want to get extra giveaway points, you can subscribe to my newsletter. And what you can do there is if you send a whisper over to my bot of !email and then follow that with your email address, that'll re-register your email address for the newsletters, and it'll start tracking that you're subscribed to any of the 3 newsletters and sort of the progress as well. The sooner you get in on that, the more extra points you'll get, because I'm giving you points not just for registering for the newsletter, but also how far through the series you get by the end of the month. And so you'll have lots of extra opportunity for giveaway points by going to those newsletters. And if you want to tell other people about it, that would be great. And get your friends and other folks who are interested in career preparation and so on, if you help them out by letting them know about the newsletter. If you forward your newsletter to them, though, they're going to get your unique link to go in and change your settings. So don't do that, or they could accidentally unsubscribe you. But if you share just the link to register for the newsletter, I would appreciate it. If anybody's out there looking for a job and stuff like that. So, Kinja, good to see you in chat as well. Captain Jerbear, thanks for dropping by. Good to see you. So yeah, the giveaway is open to everybody. If we can get 12 people in the giveaway, then we'll give away a 3D printed dragon. Otherwise, we'll do a coupon code for the online store. I still look really kind of overly pink. Let's see if I can fix that up real quick. Let's see, camera, properties, figure. All right, how do I de-pinkify myself here? Well, saturation will take it down a little bit, I guess. Don't want to look too pale. Not quite that pale in real life. Add a little color somewhere in there. Maybe down a tiny bit more. That'll be good. Apply, okay. Close that. Yeah, that's better. All right. Cool deal. All right. Which are the 3 newsletters? I think I'm submitted. So I've got a general newsletter. I've got a technical questions newsletter, and I have a behavioral questions newsletter. So you can subscribe to any of those 3. Just at the bottom of any of the emails that you get, you can click on the link and it'll take you to the page where you can go subscribe to any of them. And you can also set the pace of how quickly you want to get the messages. So if you want them every day, you can set everything to daily. If you only want like 1 per week, then you can go in and you can say, I only want 1 per week for this newsletter, but I want 2 per week for this newsletter. I want 1 every day for this newsletter. And it'll basically pace them out for you. It figures out every day like who needs to get a message and make sure they get shipped that message. So so yeah, let's see if we go to this link here. So this will let you subscribe basically to any of the 3. It will ask you to kind of confirm the subscription and so on. So it's a double opt-in. When you subscribe, it'll send you an email. You have to respond to that email, or sorry, there's a link in that email that you click on, and then that actually like completes your registration. No, I'm not writing them every day. They're so it's a preset set of content that I have written, and basically there's There's about a dozen messages, I think, on the general one. There's about 20 on the behavioral, and there's like 30 or 40 on the technical one. And whenever you subscribe, you get message number 1, then you get message number 2, then you get message number 3. And so it's not an ongoing newsletter. Once it's done, it unsubscribes you from that newsletter. And once it unsubscribes you from the last one, it removes everything about you out of the database. So I'm not a big fan of like hanging on to other people's details and information, as you've heard. Like when you do the exclamation point register for the giveaways, for example, there's trying to think of where I had that message on the screen here at one point. There's a exclamation point register command that you can do, and that will ask you for your name and your address, and that all gets wiped. Like once we send out all the giveaway things in August, I'm going to wipe that database and everybody can start over again. Zombie, good to see you. Hello. I got Wraith Cube hanging out as well. Hello, everyone. Thanks for coming in. So Sunday is typically my day to help people with career preparation, interview prep, do resume reviews, all that kind of stuff. So if you have questions, you can use exclamation point Q followed by your question. That'll kind of queue things up as well. Or you can ask the chatbot anonymously. So if you go to my ID 736 bot that you see up here, send it a whisper with your question, and it'll show up in chat as an anonymous question. And then I'll answer it from there. Now, any anonymous questions will also get copied over to our Discord community. So even if I'm offline, like if I'm not streaming, my chatbot's always on. You can always come by my chat and ask an anonymous question, and it'll show up. Or you can do exclamation point Q followed by your question. Then the next time I stream, we'll see that one come in. So for example, someone had asked while I was offline, what printer do you use for printing a helmet? And then I can say, I want to answer that question. So I'm going to answer question 11, and I'm going to give that one 5 points. So the giveaway points are basically helping people enter the giveaways and so on. But why is that message not showing up on the screen? Because that one should be there as well. You're supposed to be... Is it on here? Does it show up? I think I know why. Let's go back over to here, over to chatting. Let's do something. I was trying to modify some things, and I dropped a thing that I was supposed to keep. Right, studio mode, chat mode. Just a reference. There we go. So down here, exclamation point register, that will give you the registration form to go in and give me your name and your address and stuff ahead of time. So if you do get drawn for any of the giveaway prizes, including the daily one that we're going to do today, then I've already got your name and your address, and I know exactly where to ship something. But at the end of July, I wipe all that information. So early August, it'll be like August 4th or 5th is when we're going to do all the big giveaways. We've got a lot of stuff that we're giving away. We're giving away a whole bunch of like 3D printed stuff related to dragons. Here's the latest on the resin. So there's our resin dragon, and I got a flat black painted on the building. I put a flat gray primer on the dragon to prep him. He's going to be kind of a lava themed dragon, and we got the roof done in kind of that slate blue that we talked about in chat. And so that's going to be hand painted and ready to go for one of the giveaways. The other giveaway is this big enormous dragon that you kind of see hiding back here. We're kind of prepping this one for a whole bunch of color, but this one's going to be pretty enormous. And then we've got a giant articulated dragon, and we've got this big dragon head trophy. We got this as well that's being given away. It was a good thing that I got that resin print done when I did, because as soon as I finished printing that, I was trying to print a commission for somebody, and the LCD screen went out on my resin printer, and any cubic is sold out of the LCD screen. So I have to wait for them to restock it so that I can order one, wait a week, and then actually get around to printing the the thing for the person that commissioned me to do a resin print for them. So I'm kind of bummed that I got to wait that long. But I did sign an agreement with another company who is primarily in the industrial resin printing realm, and they're making a prosumer kind of 3D resin printer for like kind of the pro hobbyist, I guess you could call it, people that want to do resin printing as a business. And so I signed an agreement with them. They're actually sending me a whole setup. It's a printer and a wash station and a cure station. So 3 separate machines and a whole bunch of their resin. And we're going to kind of collaborate on some kind of project. It's going to be dragon themed because that's how I do. And so that's going to show up sometime in August, and I have until the end of the year basically to make like one big video of like unboxing it and putting all that stuff together. And I told them, well, I live stream that kind of stuff. They're like, that's perfect. You can live stream. I can't tell you who it is yet, but once I get it and unbox it, then I can tell you all about it. But yeah, it's on the upper end of the pricing side of things. I will tell you that it's like a $2,500 plus kind of setup between the printer and the wash and the cure stations and stuff like that. Because again, it's like industrial scale, but targeted at kind of home business kind of users, or like small business, kind of Soho or whatever they call them back in the day. You got to stash money away for a printer, yeah. So speaking of stashing money away for a printer, we're giving away a 3D printer because we're doing so well on our fundraiser. We're up to $1,750. When we hit $1,000, I added a 3D printer. It was going to be the Anycubic Cobra, which is a great entry-level sort of bed slinger, as we call them, where the bed moves back and forth. But they wouldn't ship to Canada. And so I kind of put it out there. I'm like, all right, well, if we can get to $1,750, then I'll upgrade it to the Cobra 2, which they will ship to Canada. And so someone like dropped an enormous donation last stream, and about a week ago, and we got that upgraded. So now you're getting a Cobra 2, which is still a fantastic entry-level 3D printer. If we can get up to $2,000, I'm going to add another cosplay helmet. If we can get to $2,500, I'm going to do a whole set of cosplay lightsabers with the collapsible blade inside. And if we can get to $3,000, I'm going to add a resin printer on the giveaways. So, and keep in mind, all the money that you're donating, I'm matching all of that as well. And the founder of STEM to the Future is going to be on the stream Tuesday night. So come back Tuesday night if you can, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. In U.S. time zones. We're going to have the founder of STEM to the Future. His name is Jacob, really pleasant guy to talk to. I'm going to have him on the stream, and we're going to chat about like what they do, what their organization does, how many kids they've been helping over the years, kind of their growth plans and things like that, and how he found out that we were raising money for him on Twitch, which is kind of a funny thing how they tracked me down. Because I hadn't, like, when we did all the fundraising last year, we would just raise all this money, and then I would donate the money, and then I would email them after the fact going, this is who I am, and this is my live stream, and here's my content, and blah, blah, blah. But they actually found me ahead of time. So that was kind of fun. They started getting all these notifications from PayPal that they got this money from Twitch, and they're like, why are we getting money from Twitch? They were, what? Who just dropped $250? Reactor Tech just dropped $250. What? To STEM to the Future? Oh. Reactor Tech, thank you. That is fantastic. All right. So at $1,500, we added one cosplay helmet. $2,000, we're adding another cosplay helmet. You can do exclamation point catalog. You can go check that out. I've got a lot of catalog entries on there. Let me go find that. Oh, where's that browser window? Now, here it is. Let's go check out the catalog. Let's go see what we got over on the old website, shall we? So, cool. Actually, let's do it over here in chat. Let's do catalog. This will take us over to the shop. And you'll see all the cosplay helmets. So I've got lots of laser engraving and stuff on here. But if we go over to the cosplay helmets, actually, if you do exclamation point helmet or helmets, I forget if it's single or plural, you'll get directly to this page. And basically, the recipient of the cosplay helmet gift is going to get to pick their cosplay helmet. It's not going to be like fully finished and painted. It's going to be printed, like post-processed. It's going to be sanded and primed so that it's kind of ready for final paint. Now, if you want to go in and like do extra fill and extra like primer or whatever, that's up to you. Or if you want to commission me to do that and then like actually paint the thing a final color, we can talk about that. But now we're going to be giving away 2 of these helmets, and I've got a bunch of them on here. A lot of them Star Wars, a lot of them are Marvel, a couple that are neither, like RoboCop, and we got Snake Eyes from G.I. Joe and stuff like that on here. But we got Deadpool, we got a couple of Daredevil cowls, a lot of Star Wars stuff, I'll be honest. We got the whole Bad Batch set on here as well. And so the recipient of that, we're going to give away 2 of these. So amazing. So Reactor Tech, thank you for that. That was outstanding. Thank you. Honestly, I only expected the community to come up with $1,000, and I was going to put in the other $1,000, but you just crushed that goal, like way above and beyond. And then my employer is going to match $1,500 of what I put in. So right now we're on track to give them $5,500. How long does it take to print a helmet? Depending on the helmet, it can take anywhere from 16 to 30 hours. Depending on the amount of detail, like the Deadpool one, for example, it has a lot of really fine detail in the mask itself. It's got kind of a textured look to it. I'm not sure why that background is showing up like that. It's got a texture in it, so if you zoom in on it, it kind of looks like cloth. That one takes a lot longer to print. But some of the other ones that are just more of a flat sort of surface, those print relatively quickly. Like all these Star Wars ones up here, aside from like the Tech and Crosshair and Echo, because they take a little bit longer. There's lots of little extra accessories and stuff to print. But the helmet itself, I would say on average, 24 hours or less. I've got a Mandalorian and a Bo-Katan Kryze helmet on point right now for GBAV, who's hanging out in chat. Good to see you as well. So we've got a Bo-Katan Kryze that I have made for GBAV's girlfriend. I just have to finish printing these accessories, but her helmet's ready for final paint. GBAV, your helmet is also ready for final paint because I got the second coat of silver on there, and they look pretty great. I kind of want to pull up the photos, but I need to do that in a different browser window so that I don't dox any other photos that I've taken. But you'll actually, yeah, I can just show that actually. So let me show you what we got going on. So these are GBAV helmets. They're not like perfect silver chrome, but I get a pretty good reflection in there. So that's GBAV's helmet with the second coat, and they're the 2 of them side by side, and they're both ready for final paint. So I kind of weathered them a little bit, so they're not going to look like perfect, pristine, off the shelf like Bo-Katan Kryze just bought this helmet. It's going to look a little not super roughed up, but there's going to be some scratches and stuff in there, and that's intentional. That's just me working on my lawn. So yeah, so those are ready to go. So you can kind of see like a little bit of like the scratches and stuff on here. I don't know why that background is showing up like that, but you can kind of see like I left some scratches and stuff in here from the sanding. That's kind of on purpose, so they're not going to look like absolute perfect pristine, but they did come out pretty nice. And then the just the reflection that we get on that, and that's just rattle can silver paint. So pretty excited how those are turning out. So yeah, we're going to be giving away 2 of these cosplay helmets now because of Reactor Tech. So thank you, Reactor Tech. Much appreciated. Thank you for that. And there's my LCD screen that's sold out. I got to wait for them so that I can get back and do resin printing again. Yeah. So what else is going on with everybody? Beskar Steel is looking sharp. Yeah. I mean, it's not going to look. So I've got color schemes in mind for GBAV and for his girlfriend Kat. I've got color schemes in mind. So GBAV wants green, and her favorite color was pink. So I've got some custom visor material that I'm going to get going on those, and then I've picked up some interesting paint now, mostly for the large dragon. but it's a very bright lime green. I'm not going to put too much of the lime green on GBav's helmet, but I might mix a little bit of that in, just so we've got like dark green and light green. It'll kind of offset some of the darker green. My hope is that I can put that paint on in a light enough coat that it's still going to look shiny from underneath, that silver paint is still going to kind of reflect a tiny bit. It won't be like perfect mirror polish, but then once I get the clear coat on the outside, that'll also help harden on top of it and help with scratches and stuff like that. But then that'll also help with a little bit of shininess too. So having some fun with it for sure. I'm not the pro that Britt is by any stretch, but I'm learning as I go, and it's a fun process to get in and learn and stuff. So anyway, that's where we're at on all that. So now we're giving away 2 cosplay helmets. So I'm going to go add that as an agenda item for myself, because we need to go add a second helmet. Where did my to-do list go? My to-do list is to done. Where did my to-do list go? All right, Notepad. Where'd you go? Open. This Notepad doesn't have an open recent kind of thing, so I gotta go track down my notes. Just add it down here. So add another cosplay helmet to prizes. So when you do exclamation point prizes that you see down here in this box, it'll show you all the stuff that we're giving away. And now there's going to be 2 of those helmets. So I'm gonna call them like helmet 1 and helmet 2. Or actually, I'm just gonna call it helmet, and I'll just draw 2 names when we get to the helmet. So cool. So that's all the 3D printing stuff and the July giveaways. So again, I'm going away. I'm gonna be up in Canada August 1st through the 3rd. On the 4th, I think I'm gonna stop all of the tokens and points and all that kind of stuff, so that I'm probably going to stream on August 5th, Saturday on the 5th. If you happen to be available and you want to come by chat, if your name is drawn, you're going to get additional prizes on top of whatever it is you get drawn for. But you're only going to win 1 big prize. So I'm not like, you can enter all the tokens you want, but you can only win 1 big prize. Just that way we kind of, share the love across everybody. But you don't have to be present to win, because you're going to do exclamation point register. I'm going to have all your contact info anyway. So you don't have to be here on the 5th. But August 5th is when we're going to draw for all those big prizes and give all that stuff away for the month of July. So meanwhile, you're all like gaining lots of points and stuff like that. So you can follow the instructions down here. You just register first, and then you can do bang points or bang entries, and that'll tell you how many points you have, and then you can exchange those points for tokens, and then you can reserve the tokens for the prizes. If you want to go hang out on the Discord community, I've got all that stuff documented over there. You can also check out the About Me section on Twitch, and it'll give you instructions on how to use those commands as well. I'm trying to make the user experience as friendly as possible so that other streamers can use this giveaway code. My hope is to get all that done by October. The big thing that I wanted to do is like give the end user more choice about the giveaways. Because there are streamers that are like, I think of Amish Ace, like he was kind of the example that I used when I was putting this giveaway code together around, gaining points and exchanging them for tickets, and then he would just draw for like 1 big thing. And I'm like, well, what if somebody's giving away more than 1 big thing? Like, how do you just have all the same tickets, or should you have different tickets for different prizes? Maybe you want to cap those tickets at different levels for different prizes. And so I wanted to kind of build that flexibility into my software. But doing that comes at the expense of ease of use for the viewer. So I'm trying to make that as easy as possible. I may try and figure out some like way of doing that as a web page for people, so that it'll be a little bit easier for you to go in and see like how many points you have and how many points you convert to tokens, and do all that conversion stuff online and let you allocate your tokens and stuff. It won't be ready for this month, but maybe for October. We'll see. Anyway, so Sunday is typically my interview prep day. So I appreciate everybody hanging out. If anybody does have interview-related questions and so on, feel free to ask or queue them up. Just use !Q, and you can queue up a question, and I'll go through and draw those kind of as we go. And then aside from that, I've got a couple of anonymous questions left in our Discord community. So anybody that whispers over to my chatbot, it'll show up as an anonymous question on Discord. And it puts it in the anonymous questions channel. And then if you send follow-up messages, then it'll kind of build a thread out of that. And then I can go in and I can see more context about it. So if I'm ever offline and you have questions, you can always come back and ask a question. You can either use !Q and it'll queue it up. Now, when I do !Q, it won't tell me who the person is. It just says, here's a question. And so I will get into this one in a moment. So it's also kind of anonymized as well. But if I happen to be online and I see you ask the question, then obviously we're going to know who it is. But then any questions that come in using this !Q, I can also assign points to these, where when you ask anonymously to the chat bot, it's not as easy for me to give you points for those questions because I have to go in, I have to log in as my bot, see who's sending me whispers, and then figure out, have you registered? How do I add some bonus points for you and stuff like that? So it's a lot more manual process. So, but yeah, amazing. I can't believe we hit our charity goal. So thank you for that. Let's look at this question real quick. Do you use a zenithal prime technique or similar variation using a highlight and shadow, or do you just leave it up to the painting? Great question. There's a lot of words in there that I don't know. I was watching someone else's stream last night. I forget. I think he calls himself something miniatures, something. He's a British guy that does a lot of miniatures painting. And he was saying on his stream yesterday that his art teacher used to give him a really hard time because he wouldn't learn these terms. But he kind of understood what to do. And now he makes more money, painting miniatures than his art teacher ever made. So I don't know a lot of what these terms mean. Like, I don't know what the zenithal prime technique is. What I do is I print the helmet, I sand it so it's kind of smooth. I use filler primer, and then I sand that down so it's smooth. And if there's still a couple of bumps, I'll use like some putty or like some wood fill, plastic fill kind of putty. I was using Bondo for a while, but that stuff will get you high in a hurry if you don't have like really good air ventilation. And so I stopped using that, and I'm just using like this little bucket of like, what do they call it? Like the spackle stuff that you put on the walls, but this one's for wood and plastic, and so it actually adheres to the plastic really well. And I just go in and I fill in the cracks and smooth that out, let that cure for at least a day, and then I sand it again, prime it again, sand that primer again, so it's like super smooth, and you barely see any print lines, especially along the top if the helmet is domed. You will see it a little bit, but for the most part, a lot of that goes away. And then from there, I'll go in and what I did is I used just a rattle can of silver paint, and I just did just a very light coat and let that dry for half a day, see how it looked, added a little bit more. But in that case, on Cat's helmet, I put too much and it started to drip and run. So I had to wait for it to fully cure and dry. And then I went in and I sanded it, and then I put a second coat over top of it, and it actually turned out really nice. On G-Bavs, I put his light coat on, and it looked fine. I didn't need to sand it down, so I just put a second light coat over top, and it came out really nice, to the point now where I can just go back and I can put other color on. But when you're thinking about like shadows and highlights, I generally try to put the darker tone on first and then put the lighter tone over top. So the dragon, for example, like the really, really big dragon that we're doing, we're going to do kind of a fire theme on the head. And so I started by priming the head with that dark red so that when I come back in with the orange and the yellow, I don't have to like go back in and like try to get all the little nooks and crannies with the red to make it look like fire. I just put the orange on top of that and then the yellow on top of that. Now, when I do the lava dragon on the resin print, it's going to be kind of reverse. I'm actually going to start with the really light tones, and then I'm going to gradually get into so I'm going to start with a like very faint white, and then the yellow for the glow, a little bit of orange, and then the red for the fire on top of that, because you want the fire to kind of stand out more, where on the bigger dragon we're doing the darker tone first. So it depends a little bit on what you're painting, in my experience. Again, I don't know all the proper techniques and terms and whatever, but that's how I do. And I'm still fairly new at it. I've painted miniatures in the past, but this is my first time with airbrushing, and it's a lot of fun to kind of go through. My airbrush broke though, irreparably broke, so I bought another one yesterday. So I got to get that going again. And it came with another tankless compressor. I bought it like a whole Iwata kit. Hey Smorf, good to see you as well. So for the resin print, since people are asking about fire dragons, what if I can shut off that background? Give me a second. I'm going to shut off that background image. Bottom. Let's go back over to here. So this is the resin print that we're doing, and I'm basically going to be painting it a little bit like this. Now we don't see the front of the dragon. We only see the back of the dragon, but I'm effectively going to paint it the same way. So it's going to look very similar to this kind of fire look. So we'll have kind of this bright strip coming down the back, and then just kind of branch off around. And I would love, if I can, to do like these big chunky bits kind of thing, but on the back of the dragon. So it won't be on the front. And then on the wings, I'll probably do some amount of like fire blending in the wings. And then my hope is that I can figure out where exactly on the roof the dragon's going to be, and then maybe hit the roof with a bit of glow from the fire as well. So I might hit the roof with a little bit of the orange and the red, just to give it that little bit of extra glow. So when the dragon's on there, it'll kind of reflect. It's looking like the light from the fire is reflecting off the roof. Because then it just looks a little more realistic if we can get in and do a little bit of highlight. And then I'll go in after that, and I'll add like little touch-ups of white just for extra white highlight. And I've got white paint markers and white like permanent markers, like Sharpies. The name escaped me there for a minute. So I'm not going to do too much of the white in paintbrush because that tends to spray a little bit too much. And if you're getting in and just doing highlights, then you want to get in with like a really fine paintbrush or something like a Sharpie marker, or like the metallic Sharpies and things like that. But I've also got some small paint markers as well that I'm going to use for the highlights. So hate when you mess a brush up. Yeah. Do you want to try some object source lighting? I mean, that's kind of what I'm hoping, yeah. So the dragon is going to be the source of the light, and I want to have that reflect on the roof a little bit. So when we're looking at the roof here, so if the glow is coming off the dragon here, then I want to get some highlights down in here, and where there's like a little bit of lighting on the wing, I want to like light up the roof a little bit, like behind the wing in here. So I'm going to add just a little bit on there, so that when you're displaying the piece, you'll see like a little bit of the glow kind of hitting on the roof, at least on this side of the roof. Maybe not the back side over here, because you're not going to see that back side anyway. But that's the hope, is that we can get a little bit of extra color pop in there. But yeah, we got the slate blue on there. That came out pretty nice. So yeah, it should be pretty good. The one thing that I'm realizing though about this print is once you harden the resin, it's actually really hard to get the dragon exactly into position. So I need to be really careful that I don't like break the dragon trying to fit it on here, and then try to figure out how do I bubble wrap the heck out of this thing, because there's lots of little pokey spikes and pokey bits like the top of the building and stuff like that. That's going to make it a little tricky for shipping. And so I might have to custom cut some foam to go around this thing to like really hold all that stuff in place and protect these really small bits, so that it will ship properly. But I'm going to do my best to ship that, and hopefully it shows up in one piece to the recipient. It's not nearly as hard as it seems. Color choice is way more important. Okay, good to know. Thanks, Britt. I'll definitely pick your brain on that as I get going with it. But my hope to start is to kind of do that sort of lava scale kind of look on the back of the dragon, and then do like figure out from there, like where does the dragon sit on the roof, and like where would it make sense to have like some glow from the dragon sort of hitting the roof from there. And it's not going to be like a huge amount of glow, but that's kind of the idea that I got anyway. Nail it without a doubt. We'll see. We'll hope. We'll see. I'm going to practice on some stuff. So I was originally printing it much, much, much larger. And so I'm going to use these pieces to kind of practice like on the airbrushing side of it and sort of the techniques and stuff. So I didn't throw those pieces out, even though I'm not going to be doing that one, because I need some extra pieces. Same thing with the helmets. I've got like other helmets that I've started to print that didn't work out so well. I've actually kept those and I've sanded those and primed those, and I've got some silver paint on those as well, so that when I start airbrushing GBav's helmet, then I can make sure that, you know, that shininess is still going to come through, that the colors of paint that I use aren't so opaque that it was pointless to use the silver. But I also want to mask off some of it so that the silver color is actually part of the helmet as well. So it should be pretty neat. I got some, it's like vinyl masking tape that you can like bend and like curl around, where the paper tape, you can't really bend it without it wrinkling. So I've got some vinyl mask tape that I'm going to be using as well on those helmets, so I can kind of like get around the curves. And I've got some design ideas that I want to do on the Bo-Katan Kryze helmet specifically. And then on his is going to be more blocky style, like the typical sort of Mandalorian style helmet. So should be fun. And that's what I'm going to be doing on Thursday streams, is like showing how I'm masking that stuff off and kind of the plan. So my hope this Thursday is that I can get some of that stuff masked up, but I really need to get going on the dragons. The dragons are the priority because I have to have those finished by the end of the month. And then I may show some of the masking on the helmets if we have time on Thursdays. Tuesday is coding day, and that one I'm going to be doing more chatbot stuff. I'm basically converting most of my chatbot from Python over to Streamer.bot, which is C#. So I'm learning a whole new programming language for that. I've already got the problem solved. I just now have to figure out how do I do the same kind of code in C# and get it working over there. So yeah, anyway. Let's see. I've already got that Pokemon. Don't need to catch that one. Cool. Let's see if anybody. So I kind of answered that question, but let's go back and I kind of leave it up to the painting. I mean, it really depends. Like, to go back and kind of re-answer the question, it depends a little bit on what I'm painting and the different shades and sort of what layer makes sense to print or not to print, to color before I do something else. And then because the bamboos are a smaller printer, I can't print the helmets on those. I can print the Daredevil cowls on there though. And if a helmet comes in multiple pieces, then sometimes I can arrange those on the bamboo. I'd be curious to know how long and how much effort it would be to actually do color on the bamboo. Like, I would love to go in and actually digitally paint the black and the red of that Daredevil cowl. And then that way the black part is already black and I don't have to go in and like paint that as much. I might still go in and do like a little bit of extra highlighting and stuff like that. But that way those base colors are kind of already there. But that obviously takes a lot longer doing the multicolor prints. So we'll see how that goes. All right, let's see if we got any other questions. Nope, no other questions in that queue. So let's go grab an anonymous question out of our Discord community here, and we'll answer some of those. I think I saw RC pop in. Dandelion, good to see you as well. Said hi to Smorf. Who else did I miss in chat while I was answering all that? I think that was it. Cool. So get on the giveaways. We got about 13 people in chat. Let's see how many people we got in the giveaway. If we can get a dozen people in by the time I draw, I'll probably draw on the hour. If we can get a dozen people in that giveaway, then we'll give away a dragon. Otherwise, it'll be a coupon code, and those coupon codes will stack. So if you do want a cosplay helmet, then those coupon codes will stack. If we get a dozen people in by the top of the hour, then I'll do a poll, and you all can decide if you want a dragon or a coupon code, and we'll give that away. Cool. Let's go take a look at this Discord question here. What are the benefits and drawbacks of being overqualified for a job during an interview? There are good things and bad things about being overqualified, but the question is, who's calling you overqualified? If you're calling yourself overqualified, I would question why you're applying for that job in the first place. If you're just looking for some stability where you know you can do the job and you just want to like put in your 40 hours and, have time for hobbies and side business and whatever, then you could certainly go apply for those jobs. Those companies may be a little concerned if you're overqualified from a drawback point of view, a disadvantage point of view, that they may think that you're going to expect a bigger paycheck that they may not be ready for. So if I'm a hiring manager and I've got an intermediate level role, I've got a certain budget range in mind. And if I see someone who's clearly a senior developer applying for that role, part of me would question a little bit, why are they applying for the role? Are they less confident in their own skills, or are they looking for something where they're not going to be challenged? Because I want to make sure that you're growing as well. That's kind of my job as your manager, is to make sure that you're being challenged and growing. If you're just coming in to put in your work and you're not growing in that work, then I'm not really doing you a favor by giving you that job. And so the drawback is you may get passed over because you are overqualified. You may have an initial call or two with HR, maybe the hiring manager going, why are you here? Like, why are you applying for this job? They may want to hear your story a little bit about why you're applying for the job, why you're qualified for that job. And so you have to come up with a really compelling story about why do you want that job? Like, what is it about that job that really speaks to you to really get them convinced that, you know, you're maybe taking a step down in pay and that's okay for where you are in life. I've certainly taken jobs for less money in my career. And I usually spun that with starting out by saying, you know, I'm not in it just for the money. I'm more interested in what your company is doing and I want to grow with the company. Or I would position it like, yeah, this is a little bit less money, but I've got stock options and investments and whatever from the past. And so I've got that buffer. You don't need to worry about me going out and finding a second job or that it's a financial hardship. But they're mostly going to be concerned and curious about, you know, are you going to sort of turn it back around on them if they do give you an offer and say, just kidding, I really do want a senior level salary, when they may not be ready for that from a budget point of view. From a benefits point of view, I mean, you're clearly going to be able to answer any question that they throw at you if you have way more experience than what they're expecting. But the interviewers are going to see your resume ahead of time, and they're also going to be having the same kinds of thoughts in their mind of, why is this person applying for this job when they clearly got way more skill than we're looking for? They may go back and say, yeah, they're qualified, but like, you know, do we really need a senior level person on the team? Some companies will be like, I'll take a senior person and pay them the intermediate level salary. Like, you know, some managers will absolutely jump at that kind of idea. Thanks, Dandelion, for the follow. Some managers will absolutely jump at that idea, because my job as a manager is to pay you as little as possible to get the job done. And so if you're coming in with senior level skills and you're only expecting to collect an intermediate level paycheck, then that's a huge win for me, because now I get all this background and experience from you, but I only have to pay you like an intermediate. Yeah. I mean, some managers will absolutely jump at that. Some managers, though, they're going to be concerned about, like, are you going to be bored? Like, are you going to turn around and leave in 6 months or a year when you do find another opportunity, or your situation changes and now you do need more money? Like, are you going to turn around and leave anyway? Like, these are kind of these nagging thoughts that they're going to have the whole time. So you have to really convince them. If you do want to kind of take a step down, you have to work really hard to convince them that you're worth the risk, because you will come across as a risk. So it's important that you come up with a story of how your background helps them, how you're very suitable for this job. And yes, you have more experience than they're looking for, but this is the kind of role that you want, and here's why. And these are the same reasons that you're really passionate about their customer base or their user base or who they're trying to serve. Like, that's going to serve you well in that interview if you can come up with that kind of story. But you need to come up with that story. Whoever asked this particular question, if you want to reach out and talk to me privately about your circumstance and like what the role is, and talk a little bit more about why you think you want to take that step down from like a senior to an intermediate, or intermediate down to junior, I'm more than happy to chat with folks and help you come up with that story. Again, having been a hiring manager in the past, I've got that kind of perspective on, this would be my gut reaction. If I saw this resume come in, but you're only looking for like a much lesser role, here's what I'm going to be thinking. Like, these skills are transferable, and, you know, now I know I can utilize you for other things as well. But in my mind, I'm like, you know, if they say they're okay with an intermediate salary and I make them the offer and they take it, are they going to come back in 6 months and like say like, hey, I'm doing all this extra work, you really should be paying me as a senior dev, when I don't have that kind of budget? There's always going to be this nagging feeling of bait and switch in there. So just be really careful about that, because I think that could backfire. But from a benefits point of view, you're gonna crush the interview. You're gonna do way better in the interview than they expect. Now, if they're doing a coding challenge, like a lead code style challenge, and they look at your resume and go, okay, well, you're a senior dev, you're probably going to be able to handle a more difficult problem than a junior dev. So they may give you a slightly harder problem because you have that background. I've also seen people who have computer science degrees get harder questions because as a computer science student, you study a whole lot more about data structures and algorithms than someone coming out of a coding boot camp or a coding program who don't study data structures and algorithms as strongly. And so you may also be at a disadvantage there where you're going to get asked harder questions because they see that level of experience and they see the level that you're coming in at or where you're coming from. And they may ask harder questions just to try to challenge you a little bit and kind of see what your reaction is going to be when you get presented with something that you can't figure out. So it's definitely something interesting to think about as far as the dynamic of what is that interview process going to look like. Is it worth it? I mean, sometimes you do need to kind of take that step down a little bit, especially if you're kind of transitioning your career a little bit. Like I've got a ton of experience doing back-end software and building APIs and working with architecture and scalability and databases and things like that, but I'm not as good at front-end development. So if I were to sort of pivot and transition into a front-end role, yeah, I'm like a very senior level developer, but I'm very junior when it comes to front-end and front-end design and front-end implementation. So they might look at that and go, well, we're only offering this amount of money to have you come in as that junior level front-end developer. I may be okay with that because that's where I want to take my career. And so again, you have to really convince them like, no, this is how I'm transitioning my career. I know that by taking this job, I'm taking a step down, and I'm taking a step down in title, I'm taking a step down in pay, and that's okay. This is where I want to take my career. This is why I'm pivoting my career. This has been my plan all along. You want to make it sound like this is on purpose. You don't want to make it sound like, I got really bored with back end, so now I want to dabble in front end just so I can stay employed and, be in the tech industry. You don't want to tell them that as the story. You want to tell them like, I'm super solid on the back end. Now I want to get super solid on the front end. So I'm going to be like a really amazing, like full stack developer someday. That's the kind of story that you need to tell them. Like, this has been your plan all along. This is intentional, and this is why you're making the move, and as far as timing and things like that. But there's always going to be this nagging feeling in their mind of, are you going to hit them up for more money at some point? Because when you're taking that step down in title, especially, and taking that step down in pay, they're always going to be a little bit curious about, are you going to come back in 6 months and try to renegotiate your salary? So they might have some pretty hard questions for you around that. So you may want to assure them ahead of time, like, hey, I'm not in this for the paycheck. I know that I'm going to be learning stuff and I'm not going to do well at first. I'm going to be coming in just like any other junior level dev. And I know that coming in, and that's fine. I'm not going to hit you up for like senior, staff level salary and title and whatever, because I'm brand new at this. Yes, I do have other knowledge. If you need me for that other stuff, then we can talk about that, on a case-by-case basis. If you do need me to kind of like sit in on some architecture meetings, or you need me to sit in on this or that, then maybe that's a possibility, and you can do negotiate some extra pay if they do bring you in on that kind of stuff. So making yourself available is certainly a possibility. And then if you're making a transition like that, it also makes you a better, well-rounded employee where they know that they can just give you anything. Like they'll see Whip show up and say, hey, Whip, we got this question. We're a little puzzled on this thing. Can you help us with this or that? And you become a more versatile employee. And companies love versatile employees because they can kind of put you wherever. And so if that team, if that product doesn't go well, or that feature doesn't go well, and that team is going to get laid off, they see that you've got all these other skills that they can utilize elsewhere in the company. You may, I'm not going to guarantee it, but you may be less prone to layoffs when you have that generalization skill, because they're going to be able to see that they can use you in other places in the company. It's not a promise. It's not a guarantee. No one's ever guaranteed employment, but it can be helpful just for that sort of diversity and skill set. Hey, Whip, good to see you. Smorf says, I wish I could have a job, but I can't work due to my health issues. Oh, sorry to hear that. You can always work on stuff on the side. and kind of work things at your own pace and whatever. You can always be a consultant and say, these are my hours. I only work 5 hours a week. If you really can't work at all, then that's a different thing. But you can always tell people like, hey, I want to do some consulting, and I only, because of other things going on in life. You don't have to tell them it's because of health. You don't have to be that transparent with people, especially those who might be clients. But you can say like, I have limited amount of time, but I'm going to like really kick some butt during that limited amount of time. And you can put yourself out there as a contractor, and you can make some pretty good money as a contractor. Everything will depend on circumstance and stuff like that. Evil Ash, good to see you. Thanks for dropping by as well. Thanks for getting on the giveaway. So we're going to do that giveaway at the top of the hour. If we can get a dozen people in here, I'll start a poll, and we can choose between an articulated dragon or a coupon code for the website where I've got like cosplay items and things like that. And those coupon codes will stack. And so if you come back for other daily giveaways, whenever I'm streaming in July and you win more and more of those coupon codes, you'll be able to stack those up and get, potentially something big for free. So yeah, keep coming by for sure. Good to see you. And then if you want to get in on the really big giveaway prizes, all this stuff that we've got down here, you will need to register, and that will then start allowing you to accrue points and things like that. Now, you will get extra points for following. So if you're just happening by and coming in on the giveaway, that's fine. But if you do follow, then you'll gain a lot of extra points as well for being a follower of the channel. The longer you're a follower, the more points you get. So when we do this whole month-long giveaway thing again in October, you'll have even more points ready to go. So keep coming by the stream. Every time you come by the stream and hang out and chat with us, you'll be gaining lots of extra points. I'm trying to think of a lot of other ways that you can sort of accrue points and deal with points. One thing that we did change is we updated the channel point redemption. So if you have 10,000 channel points, you can now redeem those for 500 giveaway points as opposed to the 25 giveaway points that we were doing before. And so you'll have 50 tokens for every 10,000 channel points. And then you can always you can convert those points, but you don't have to convert the points into tokens. You can carry those points over from month to month, and they'll just constantly accrue. Whenever you come by the stream and hang out on the stream, those points will continue to accrue for you. And then, let's see. Trying to think of other ways for people to kind of gain points. So we may do some fun like community games and things like that. We may do like words on stream, and like the top 5 people are going to get a bunch of points or something like that. But I can also just come in here and I can say like, let's just give everybody here like 100 points just because. So that's going to go through and give a whole bunch of points to 25 people just because. So yeah, so we'll be finding ways of like giving people points for contributing and stuff like that. Also, actually, is Reactor Tech still in chat? They happen to still be here. Reactor, let me know if you're still in chat. I want to do something fun and special if Reactor Tech is still hanging out with us today. But let me go mark that other question in Discord as being answered. Add a reaction. Got some points. So yeah, so just watching the channel, Cajun, you've been watching for a long time before doing that point conversion. So now you got a ton of points that you can convert. So you can choose to whether or not you want to convert those points into tokens. And then you get to choose how many points you convert into tokens. And then you get to choose how you want to allocate those tokens for all the prizes that we're giving away. So we showed some of them off. I can go through the web browser and kind of show like what we've got as far as the giveaway. So let me go do that. So we talked about this resin print. So this is the resin print that I've done. We're going to be painting the dragon to look a little bit like this. So that's one giveaway prize. The second one is the dragon head trophy, which I showed off already. That one's printed and painted. There's a little bit that I need to do on the end of one of the horns. I missed a spot with that bone white color, so I need to mix up a little bit more bone white and get that on that horn. But that one's ready to go. And then we've got this great dragon. This great dragon is going to be painted a little bit like this cockatrice. And so I've got the base colors on, and then I picked up that really bright lime green so that we can get in and start working on the structure of the wings here. And so painting out all of these really bright colors and whatever, I've got that bright lime green. So I've got the base coat of green on there, and now I'm going to be able to kind of go in with a little bit of black and So a little bit of black, and then with a lime green, and then wherever we don't hit it, we'll have kind of this darker tone kind of coming through. And, you know, we don't have feathers on these wings because it's a leathery dragon, but I did kind of blend out from a black into that dark burgundy on the wing. It's not as vibrant as this burgundy, but I think it's a nice kind of subtle hint. And then we started with the head in kind of that dark red so that we can get the undertones for the fire. And then I'll be adding the orange and yellow, and that's going to go all the way down the back of the dragon. And then we've got the base coat of green on here so we can get into the greens and the cyans and the yellows on the side. And then the belly, now again, this is a cockatrice, slightly different mythical beast, but I've already got that tan color ready to go. So the tan color is already done. It's all modeled, M-O-T-T-L-E-D. It's already modeled on the throat and the neck and the chest and the tail of the dragon, the parts that you can see. So I don't know if that's going to come through on the camera or not. You can kind of see it. There's like gray undertones and stuff in there as well. So that's ready to go. And then I'm going to do the snout very similar. So I'm going to do like a band of gold, and then the snout, both top and bottom, are going to be black. I may try and get in and do the tongue, kind of that pink purple color if I've got time. So I've got a little bit left to do on that. The talons, of course, are going to be all black. The horns on the dragon that we see here on the head. So there's horns coming out of the top and out of the bottom of the jaw on the dragon. Those are going to be black. These spikes on the leg are going to be kind of a cyan blue color that we can kind of see up here. These big horns coming out of the wing are kind of this dark cyan color. We're going to do the same thing here. So these same nubs on the wing up here that we see, those are also going to be that cyan color. And then these spikes on the legs, I'm also going to do in that cyan color. Now it's going to blend in really well on the legs because we're already going to have that green and cyan on the leg itself. But then we're going to be doing the lime green, mottled green and black and whatever down the support part of the wing here, and then going back to that cyan color for that nub. These little hooks on the back of the wing, these are going to be done in just a jet black, as well as these horns coming off the face of the dragon. And then whoever wins the dragon, you can choose to point them up like this. You can point them away from the neck. You can point them in towards the neck. You can point them down. Point them however you want and glue them in, and you'll be good to go. So we got that dragon. And then we've got... this is the Flexi Dragon, and I've got a giant version of this. It's about 4 feet long. It's just this enormous, it's about a full spool of filament in a really cool color-shifting blue aqua color. And it does kind of rear up and like sit up on his neck there like that. So I've got that printed. That one's ready to go. And then what else have we got in here? Nope, that's just one I'm going to print later on for myself. And then... these were just some other inspirations. And then this is the 3D printer that we're giving away. So this was also added when we hit $1,000. And then at $1,500 and $2,000, I added some cosplay helmets. And so that's going to be the, if you do exclamation point helmet. Is it helmet or helmets? I think it's helmets plural. Yeah, it's helmets plural. So this is going to take you over to the cosplay helmets that I've got. And so we're going to give away 2 of these helmets. And so the recipients, I'll talk to you individually about how to measure your head, and I'll make sure that the helmet's going to fit you before it ships. And we'll take measurements and stuff like that. I'll tell you how to measure your head so that the thing will fit you. With lots of helmets and masks and stuff like that, and you're going to get to pick your choice. And it won't be fully painted and ready to go, but you're going to have your choice of several things. A lot of them are going to come with visor material of some kind. I've got different colors of visor material and stuff like that, so it should be pretty fun. And then if we can get to $2,500, I have a set of these collapsible lightsabers. So if we go to 3D printing world, this guy does a lot of like collapsible like swords and stuff like that, but he's also got a whole series of lightsabers as well. And so I'm basically going to try to find like every lightsaber that he's got, and I'm going to do a lightsaber. Hey Pix, good to see you. And then I'm just going to do a whole range of the blades in different colors. And most of the lightsabers you can swap the blades in and out. So I'm hoping to find like 5 or 6 of his best models, and I'm going to print those. They're not going to be multicolor like this. They're going to be they're just going to be a single color. If you want me to airbrush and paint them, then you can commission me to do that. Otherwise, they'll just be like a single color hilt. Like the Sith one, I think I'll do in black. The Jedi ones I'll probably do in like a mix of like gold or silver or gray or something like that. But there's a lot of them. He's got a lot of lightsabers on here, so I might actually let the recipient pick which lightsabers, because he's got a lot of them on here. So I'll probably limit it to like 5 or 6 lightsabers, and I'll just let the recipient pick which 5 or 6. And then if we get to $3,000, we'll do a resin printer on top of all of that as well. So lots of fun, lots of choices. Those are the prizes that we're doing. Yeah, 3D World Sabers are really, really great. So we gave, like a week ago or so, we gave away the Ahsoka Tano lightsaber set from Clone Wars. Those went to Westery. And that's not 3D Printing World's design. That was someone else's design. So unfortunately, I can't sell that set. It's marked as non-commercial, but I can give it away. So we gave one away, but I can't sell that. But all of these other ones, I'm actually allowed to sell 3D Printing World's lightsabers. So eventually, I need to get on his website and like go grab all these pictures and put them on my own website, and list all those for sale as part of the cosplay items on my website as well. So right now under cosplay, I've got armor and helmets. So armor, there's like Iron Man suits, and there's a armored Daredevil suit that I want to get on here as well, or armored Deadpool. But there's also a Batman suit as well. Obviously a lot more expensive to print those because it's a lot of time and effort to do a whole set of armor. But I'm going to have a whole category here for just like cosplay items, and it'll be things like Thor's hammer, lightsabers and stuff like that. Well, if I can find a Thor's hammer that I can sell commercially, because I want to do everything on the up and up. I want to make sure that I've covering whatever licensing fees to sell whatever we find. But there's going to be a lot more stuff on the website eventually. Cool. So yeah, Ash, good to see you as well. I'm a lightsaber. Thanks, Pix. All right. Well, let's see. We've been going for about an hour. I'm going to do that drawing right on the hour. So you got about 2 minutes left to do exclamation point giveaway, including Pix. I know Pix is never going to do exclamation point giveaway, but just in case, you can always do giveaway. Just like this in chat. Cajun asks, do you know where to take an art drawing and turn it into a 3D print file? There are people out there that can do design work based on sketches. There are like professional CAD software packages out there that you can kind of like, if you take a picture of your sketch, you can like import it in, and then you can start to figure out your modeling from there. But it depends on how complex the model is that you're trying to make. It might be faster to just commission someone else to take your drawing and like try to realize that as a 3D thing. There are some AI tools out there that have started now to generate 3D models, which if you bring them into CAD software, you might be able to export in a way that 3D printer software can like slice it and turn it into something printable. But it depends on what it is you want to make and the complexity of it. It's a digital drawing. If it's already digital, if you can, it still depends a little bit on the complexity of what it is. Like if it's a flat image and it's just like an outline or a silhouette or something, if you can save that as an SVG file, scaled vector graphics, I think is what SVG stands for. And then you can typically bring that into other CAD software, and you can like build out other things around that. So that would be one idea, if you can export it as an SVG. But depending on what it is, it's a sketch of, like if it's a building or a vehicle or like a handheld prop or something like that, you might need to get into more complex sort of geometries and stuff like that. It's a little dragon, lion, or wolf kind of thing. That's a tougher one. I don't know if Britt is still in chat, but if Cratrix Britt is still here, Britt does some design, might have a better answer for you on how to turn that kind of idea into a physical model. Because getting into animal shapes, like you can certainly model like a 3D animal, but to be easily 3D printable, you want to build it in a way that you don't have too many overhangs. Like if the animal is kind of standing up and the belly is kind of unsupported, then you got to get a bunch of support material underneath it. And that can be trickier to print for people who are new to printing. And so like taking their kinds of stuff into consideration. Britt, Cajun Dragon was asking about turning a digital drawing into something 3D printable. And Cajun Dragon was saying something. It's like a dragon, a lion, or a wolf, or something like that. I know you've been doing a lot more 3D design, so I said you'd probably be a better one to ask if they've got a digital drawing, like how to, like what format would best convert, at least for an animal shape. So if it's a digital drawing, it's still only going to be 2-dimensional. You're still going to have to figure out how do you turn that into a 3-dimensional kind of thing. What are the sort of like the proportions of the length of the legs and the length of the body and stuff like that. Daddy Ways says that's how I made all the coasters I did. Yeah. So just sketching them out, imported as an SVG, and then those come over a lot easier for sure for doing like flat prints. But when you're getting into like bigger sort of models like characters and handheld things, it can be a little trickier. Send it in Discord. Okay. Do you mind if I show that on stream? Oh, those are cool. Dude, I love the colors that you put in that. It'd be cool if I show that in on the stream. Is that be all right? Devil Bird, what's going on? Yeah, I can show it. Sweet. Let's bring that over here. Open up browser. Go back to the browser. Check this out, everybody. Oops. It's enormous. How do I zoom out? Zoom out. Check this out. That's really cool. I love the color scheme on this. This is great. I love like the little, spots and stuff on the forehead and the cheeks and stuff like that. This is really great. To turn this into something 3D, so because the head is a lot larger than the body underneath, you'd have to really pay attention to kind of the curvature and like the overhangs of like the fur and stuff like that. Like the overhangs that you've got over here, you'd need support material to like prop that up. Because 3D printers can't just start printing this out in the middle of thin air. It builds it up layer by layer. And so you'd have to figure out how to orient this thing in a way that you can get that support material in, or design it in such a way that you don't need as much support material. I mean, with resin printing, it's not as bad, but with FDM printing, sometimes the support material really sticks to the model, and when you kind of break that away, it can leave like little scarring and stuff like that on the print. It doesn't always look very nice, or it can be really hard or tricky to kind of clean up. So the more you can design for that kind of stuff, the better. But I'm not even sure where to start. I mean, aside from trying to figure out like how do you turn that head into more of a sphere, and then doing the sculpting for the snout and the fangs coming off, and then sculpting out the eyes and things like that, and then like sculpting out the ears. Britt says a lot of ways. I know that might not help. It all depends on the programs and what you're willing to learn. Yeah. Devilbird, doing well. New camera, so I might need to borrow you to just double check colors and stuff like that at some point. Picked up a new webcam, and the webcam that I had, I'm going to put overhead for the airbrushing, because I can zoom in a little bit better with that camera for zooming in on the painting and stuff like that. I'm a hair red. Yeah, I was like super pink earlier, and I like toned that one down, but yeah, I'd love to pick your brain on that a little bit. All right, we are past the hour. Exclamation point giveaway. Give you one last chance to get on the giveaway, and we'll see how many folks we got in here. Giveaway. It's a lot like a pop. Oh, like the Funko Pops. Yeah, nice big head, big eyes. Yeah, tail and wings would add stability. Yeah. So yeah, I'd be curious like how the wings are going to kind of come out from it, because then those would also need supports and stuff like that. But yeah, get in on the giveaway. We hit 12 people, so now we get to start a poll. So let me go do a poll real quick, and I'm going to let you all choose whether we're doing a 3D dragon or a coupon code. And the coupon codes do stack over on my site. So let's go set up a poll for the giveaway. And what are we giving away today? Do a 3D articulated Imperial Dragon. Oops. Okay, 3D articulated dragon. Or are we giving away a $15 coupon code? All right, I'm going to give you all 3 minutes to vote on that, and then we will draw. So as soon as this poll is over, I'm going to draw. So you'll all get to choose. We did hit our $2,000 like total goal, which blows my mind. Jacob from STEM to the Future is going to be on the stream on Tuesday. So if everybody can come back and say hi to Jacob, I would appreciate it. I'm sure he would as well. I would love to have as many folks come by as possible and say hi and just show him like all the support and whatever for STEM to the Future. He's going to give us the whole background on like how STEM to the Future got started and, you know, kind of their mission overall and the kinds of students that this has been helping and stuff like that. So if you can come back by Tuesday, that would be fantastic. Or come back on Tuesday, that would be fantastic. I would really appreciate having everybody come back. All right, you got about 2 minutes left to vote. But yeah, Cajun, I really love the color scheme that you got going on here. Like just the gradients of the blue and the purple, and then the you know, sort of different shades of cyan and stuff like that. Like this would be a fun bamboo print for sure. Get the cyan, get the blue, get the purple, get the pink, get the green and the white. Get some black in there. Get the gold on the crown. I'm already up to 8 colors, so I would use 2 AMS systems. I've got a third AMS. Trying to think of like what other colors we could get in there, but those would hit the high points for sure. And then get in and just, you know, you can add like a little bit of like brighter paint on the highlights at that point once it's printed. So those are colors for your emotes. That's sweet. Good deal. All right, how are we doing on the giveaway? We're about halfway through on the giveaway choice. I'm not going to look at it till it's done. So go ahead and vote for me. Let me know, are we giving away a dragon or a coupon code? I'll grab a dragon here and show you. Here's the big giant version of the dragon. And everything that we gave away last Saturday, like not yesterday, but a week ago Saturday, for the Streamerversary, I'm going to get all that stuff mailed out Monday, Tuesday this week. So apologize for the delay. But this is the giant dragon or giant version of that Imperial Dragon. The dragon, if this becomes the choice, will be a much smaller version of this. Like I said, this one's about 4 feet long. It's a big boy for sure, but that's what the articulated dragon is going to be, just a much smaller version of this. So this will be the dragon or the coupon code. And again, the coupon codes will stack. So yeah, everything else that we gave away a week ago, I've got all the boxes I need now. So part of what I needed to wait for was Prime Day so that I could buy a bunch of stuff for myself because I wanted to upgrade my audio and get the new camera and stuff like that. So now I've got boxes that I can fit like the big Lego kit and all the other stuff that we're giving away. So I'll be getting that stuff. Devilberg got the filament. It's green and yellow. Not super bright yellow, but not too greens. Oh, that's disappointing. It was supposed to be like dark green and lime green, but it's more yellow than green. That's disappointing. Did I print that with resin or FDM? So that dragon is FDM. So it's all one piece. I don't know of a resin printer that would print something that large. But I did that on my Voron, which is like 350 by 350. Like that print bed is enormous and it prints coiled up. And it's spaghetti on you. Oh no. So not only was it not the right color, you also had a failed print. That stinks. I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm disappointed in that because the pictures on Amazon looked exactly like what you're looking for, the 2 tones of green. So more spaghetti for sure. All right, so the dragon won the poll, so we're gonna go do that giveaway. So giveaway daily for the dragon. I'm gonna give you 30 seconds if you're not already in the giveaway to get in on the giveaway, and let's go pull a dragon at random and show you which one we're giving away. Actually, I'm gonna give the recipient a choice. 10 seconds. So the recipient will have a choice of 2 dragons. Enter. Nice try, Pix. Part of me wants to figure out how to put picks in a giveaway without picks getting in the giveaway. One of these days we'll figure that out. All right. Ever. Besides, picks already got a surprise dragon. All right, so the recipient is Smorf. So Smorf, you have a claim command that you'll need to do. The timer didn't work. Or did it work and you just can't see it? No, the timer didn't work. All right, the timer's broken again. All right, so you claim the thing. Do exclamation point claim for me, Smorf. There you go, you did it. You want... So it's two-tone blue. So it's light blue, dark blue, or I've got this one, which is kind of a silver mercury. So it's kind of like a silver lavender, or I've got the two-tone blue. You want the blue? All right, done. So like I said, I've got this, and I've got all the other stuff to get boxed up. So I'm going to be doing that tonight, and I will send everybody your tracking info over the next day or so as I get them dropped off at the post office. Well, I'll have the tracking code ahead of time. I'm hoping to drop them off tomorrow or Tuesday at the latest. And then if you're domestic in the US, you should get it by the weekend. If you're international, then we'll chat about delivery times and all kind of stuff. So sweet. Well, thanks for participating in the giveaway, except for picks. You're in Canada? Sweet. What I might do then, in that case, Smorf, is I'm actually going to be up in Toronto on August 1st through the 3rd. I may mail it from Canada, like while I'm there. It'll be cheaper for me to bring it on the plane and mail it once I'm there than for me to send it internationally. So I'll do that instead. Unless you're in the Toronto region, then I can just drop it off to you if you happen to be like anywhere between Waterloo and Toronto. Nope. Okay. You're in BC. Yeah, that's a little different. So yeah, if you can do the exclamation point register for me, if you haven't already, like if you're not already in the July giveaway, if you can do bang register and get me your name and your address and stuff, then I'll get that mailed out to you when I'm in Canada. You registered already? Sweet. Gonna work on crochet stuff. Cool. Thanks for the lurk. So we've been going for about an hour and a half. I gotta go start some dinner. So. We did change the time on Sundays, so I'm going to be streaming kind of this time on Sundays, kind of going forward. I was doing Sunday night when I first started streaming, and then some folks from Europe wanted to get in on the stream, and so I started streaming Sunday morning instead, but then the domestic traffic really dropped off, so I'm hoping the afternoon slot's going to kind of hit both. So I appreciate everybody dropping by. Let's go see who else we can bug online here. Let's go to the Twitch. Let's go see who else is hanging out today. It's not that big. Not that big. Who's online today? Science is online. CM Griffing, Followversary.bot. DD Builds. GBev doing some gaming. Juicebox Hero. I think we raided into Juicebox last time. I think we'll go right over to this person. I don't know if I've ever raided over to this person or not, but do me a favor. Hang out for the raid for me, if you would, please. We're going to go grab a raid joke. It's 11:15 p.m., yeah. Agnostic. Yeah, let's... I wish I could... Yeah, we'll go with that one. All right, so we're going to go right over to Science. So do me a favor, grab that raid message, if you could, please, and we'll go spam the heck out of chat over there when we get over to Science. So thanks for hanging out. So Tuesday, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, we're going to have Jacob from STEM to the Future on the stream. Please come back. Please come back and say hi to Jacob. That would be wonderful if you could do that. And yes, thank you for the hydrate as well. And we'll catch you all on Tuesday. So we'll see you over at Science. Do drop that message in chat for us, and we'll see you over there. Cheers.